everybody, we are back for the final episode of this mini class series, Let's Make a Movie, where we go over the basics of the Adobe Premiere on this Digital Den mini class here. Thanks so much to everybody who has followed along throughout this entire series. If this is your first one watching, or if you missed a couple of the last videos in this series, I highly recommend that you go back a step or two to be able to catch up on everything that we have got going on here. We've been using the movie Spiral Drive to be able to show off some examples of how we can make some basic edits, do some effects and animation. And in this video, we'll be doing a little bit of housekeeping here, showing off a couple of the other features that you can utilize here in Adobe Premiere. And then we will doing some, we will export our video so that we can have it and watch it at any time and not have to open the Adobe Premiere to be able to utilize that. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get things started here. The first thing I wanted to be able to showcase was jumping back to that first clip that we were working on. In the last video, we talked about adding some different effects. And one of the effects that I was playing around with was the tint effect. Now, one of the comments that I received talked about how it might have been better to be able to use the tint effect on the text instead of on the actual video or clip on this first clip here, since it's more difficult to be able to see the black and white on that. I thought that was a great tip. And so we're going to do that here real quick to just demonstrate once again the effect of tinting. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to showcase the search function on the effects rack here. I'm just going to type in the word tint, and the word tint is going to pop up here under color correction. I'm just going to grab that and drag it down here to this text here. And you're going to see on the effect controls over here on the left-hand side, the tint has popped up. Okay, so we are going to jump back over to the beginning of the timeline here, and I am going to click on the stopwatch toggle animation here. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to set a keyframe for us right here at the beginning, and I'm going to adjust the amount of tint to 0%. Okay, I only needed to put in 10. I don't know why I typed it twice, but anyway, so we can see all of the color of the text. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit in the timeline. Add another keyframe, jump up to 100%. So you'll see that it's all grayed out, and then jump to the end of that text box there. Add one final keyframe and then jump back to 0% so that we can see over time on our video here, it goes from color to black and white and then back to color again. Okay. All right, cool. So now what I would like to do is I would like to jump back over here to the clip that we worked on for the majority of the last episode here. And I wanted to show off the mark in and out feature on the program. Okay, this is a great feature for grabbing a specific portion of something. And you can even like export like to its own video using this function as well. So I could grab, say, for example, like 2 seconds in, I could mark in there. And then I could come over here to about 8 seconds in, something like that. And then I could mark out, and then we would only have highlighted this one section here in the middle of this opening sequence, okay? And then if I came up here to File Export, okay, I could export that, and I would only have that one section there, okay? But what I actually want to do is I want to have everything. I want to be able to export everything that we've been working on all together. So I'm going to click cancel on this, and I'm going to right click on the timeline, and I'm going to click on clear in and out. Okay, that's going to clear everything on that. And I'm going to jump back over here to this first scene, and I'm going to click on this tool that we talked about in the first video, which is the track select forward tool. Okay, I'm going to click on the first clip here, and that's going to highlight every single thing on our timeline. Okay, then I'm going to jump back over here to the selection tool, and I'm going to move everything over a little bit. And I'm going to grab the title screen that we have edited. This is the sequence to that right here in the bottom left corner. I'm going to drag that over here onto our main timeline. You're going to see that appear in green. That means that's another sequence that is currently being added to this main sequence that we're working on. And then I'm going to right click and click on Ripple Delete. Okay. So now I have got the edits that we made on the opening sequence, and then it jumps right in to our clip of the guy jogging at night, then taking a nap, and then fading into this other clip of our other character that we haven't really looked at a whole lot in this video, but he, we did add that second scene in the last video of this series. Okay, now that I've got everything, I'm going to go ahead and come up here to File and Export. Okay, and I'm going to click on Media. This is going to bring up the render sequence here for us to be able to export our video into one file so that we can utilize that however we wish outside of Adobe Premiere. Now, I talked about the in and out function, but it is worth noting that if you come down here on the left side of the export settings, you can actually change where the video file is going to start and where it is going to end. So if, say for example, this scene that we didn't actually use much of, this scene here of the other guy talking, we didn't use a lot of that. So the only stuff that I actually want to export is just the beginning of that. So we've got the taking a nap fading into this guy chatting here. And then we are going to grab this marker here on the right-hand side and drag that back over here to where our cursor is. And so now we've only got about a 49-ish second clip instead of a 2-minute and something clip. Okay. All right, so that is that function there. Over here on the export settings on the right-hand side, this looks a lot more complicated than you actually need for it to be, okay? So we're gonna click on this drop down here, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of different format options here. And notably, not all of them are video formats. Like for example, we can turn this into an animated GIF, or even just a GIF that's not animated, meaning it would turn every individual frame into its own image and then basically take the entire thing and put it into a folder of individual images so you could make your own a GIF if you would like. But we're going to use this one that's called H.264. What that is a file type that will, or a codec, I guess, that will, don't worry about that phrasing. This format will allow for us to be able to have a low file size, but also have it be high resolution, meaning that it retains a lot of the video quality. Okay. We are also going to come down here to this preset right here, and you can see there's just a ton of them. Now, if this is something that is only for Facebook or only for YouTube or Vimeo or something like that, you could choose one of those options. But what I like to do is I like to use match source high bit rate. That way it will retain all of the highest quality that we can have on that. That way, you know, we can post this a whole bunch of different places and it'll always be the highest quality we can make it. Okay. The output name right here, I can click on that and that will allow for me to be able to change the destination for this. So I could put this in our Let's Make a Movie folder here. And I could type in whatever our new file is going to be. So I'm going to say final scene or final video. That's good. Okay. And then I will hit save, and you will notice that it has changed the file name and we have adjusted where it's going to save our video file. Okay. And there are a number of effects and different things that you can adjust on the video here. But being that we have already set the preset to match source high bit rate, that has already adjusted these settings, so you don't have to, and it will adjust them to be the highest quality. Okay. But if I do make an adjustment, watch this preset section up here. So for example, if I want to adjust the frame rate, I could click on this box here and it will adjust it automatically to custom, because then I could go in here and I could change the frame rate to 30 frames per second or something else, right? You shouldn't have to worry about that, especially being that we're going over only the basics in this series here. So I don't want to intimidate you with too much mumbo jumbo of going into all of the different things that you can adjust on your video and your audio and things. The last thing in this section here I wanted to mention was the publish section, which will allow for you to be able to not only export the video, but publish it directly to YouTube. If you scroll down, you can see that it's YouTube down here. It also has functions you can publish it directly to Vimeo, to Twitter, to Facebook, and a couple other options as well. You would just have to log in to each of those things on Adobe Premiere to be able to post it directly there. Okay. And then the last couple of things I wanted to go over is the export function and the queue function. This will add it to what's called the Adobe Media Encoder. This will allow for us to be able to export our video to another program that can that can fully render our video for us, and allow for me to actually get back to work. So if I've got multiple different videos that I am working on here all at once, I can click on queue, and I'm probably going to have to adjust my screen share settings here. So sit tight for me just 1 second. All right, we are back here on the Adobe Media Encoder. Okay. And so as you can see, all of the settings that I put on Adobe Premiere have transferred over to the Adobe Media Encoder. So I've got the H.264. I've got the custom preset for the changes that we made. But I didn't actually adjust to the frame rate, so it's really the same as the high bit rate option. But and I've got the file name already adjusted. All I have to do is click on the I'm not sure if you can see it with my camera covering it, but you can click on this Start Queue button up here, which is like a play button, and you'll see that it rapidly is going to start encoding that. And we've already got a check mark up here, meaning that the full video has rendered. The full video has been saved as a new file, which is the final video.mp4. So we are good to go on that. I wanted to show you the Adobe Media Encoder because if you've got a large video, you know, something that is like 10, 15 minutes or whatever, or even much longer than that, rendering can take forever. So if you have other video files that you would like to edit on your Adobe Premiere, you can actually jump back over to the program and get back to work editing other stuff while you're rendering, so that you could do multiple things at once. So I like the Adobe Media Encoder. It's also great if you have a bunch of things that you need to render all at the same time. You can load them all into the Media Encoder, and then you can hit play, and it'll render all of them out into different files for you there. Okay. All right, so I tried to keep this this program as basic and easy as I possibly could here, but I know that Adobe Premiere is a little bit more of a complicated program than I usually go over in these Digital Den mini classes. So if you have any other questions about Adobe Premiere, please pop on by the Digital Den, and we will sit down together and we will go over everything that we can do to be able to make it so that you're familiar with this program. If you have other questions about other Adobe products, pop on by the Digital Den during our open hours, and we'll talk about those as well. One last thing that I wanted to touch on before I let you go in regards to the upcoming Digital Den mini classes. If you come up here to events on our website at khcpl.org, you can actually see all of the events that I have coming up all at once. So if you click on like next month, on the event calendar here, and you click on events type and you come down to Digital Den, you can actually see every single one of the events that I have coming up. And so I have a program called Save Money This Christmas and Use the Library to Help You Save. So I've actually got on December 6th, I have a Cut the Cable class. So if you're interested in getting rid of the cable and using some popular streaming services, I'll be teaching a lesson on that on video as well. I have got a digitize your old stuff. So I've got a VHS to DVD or digital conversion class that I'll be talking about there. On the 20th, I've got a how to use Freegal Music, which is a program where you can get free music on. I'll show you how to do that. And then on the 27th, I have got another 3D printing class on how to make it so that you can make your missing board game pieces reappear with 3D printing. So that should all be pretty fun throughout the month of December. So stick around for those. And thank you all so much for watching throughout this Let's Make a Movie series, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.